Hey guys, it's your average middle-aged American back again with another reaction video. This one is on Spain, Mallorca, Spain. It's a pretty short video. Caught my eye. It's by Ryan Shirley. He makes amazing videos. Uh, Focuses a little bit more on nature and uh, environment, that type of thing, rather than buildings and tourist traps and that type of thing. So I'm not familiar with this island at all. Obviously, I've got a tremendous amount to learn about Europe and Spain and Germany and the UK and all that. So I'm just taking it one step at a time. And I appreciate all you guys helping me. I learn something every single day. We're up to, I think, 1,270 subscribers, which is fantastic. Still been less than a year since we started the channel. I'd like to get to 2,000, if that's possible, by our anniversary date, which is, I think, about 2 months. I'd have to double check. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the button. You'll learn a lot from all the subscribers. 90-something% of my subscribers are actually in Europe, not in America. So we learn from people that are living the lifestyle directly. All right, enough jibber jabber. Let's see what Ryan has to say about Mallorca, Spain.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan, and I want to show you my favorite places on one of Europe's most beautiful islands. So here is my Mallorca top 10.
If you're not familiar with Ryan Shirley, he's a young guy who has traveled all over the world. Mostly seems to be in Europe, and he's very adventurous, very adventurous, almost dangerous sometimes. Beautiful landscapes, beautiful photography and videography. Go check out his channel. Without people like him, people like me couldn't do these reaction videos. But you'll see him climbing up to the edge of a cliff and doing backflips and all kinds of stuff. I'm too old for that. And even when I wasn't, I still couldn't do it. So, but you know what? He's living his life and learning about the world and enjoying it. And it's unbelievable. It allows people like us to see places they've never even heard of. So give him some love. Go check out his channel. There'll be a link down below in my description. As always, without these people, none of these reaction channels are possible. So I appreciate them, and I hope you do too.
Mallorca is one of my favorite places in the world. It's home to jaw-dropping landscapes, crystal clear waters, and some of the world's best cliff jumping. When I first started traveling, this was one of the first places I went to. It's a really cheap place to fly to from most European cities. My plane ticket was like $90 round trip to fly out there, so it's super cheap and affordable. I've been back to this island 3 times, and I just want to keep coming back because there's so many beautiful locations you got to check out. So for our first location, we're going to head over to the Albert Crux Watchtower. Now, this is located on the northern tip of the island. I stumbled upon this place by accident. I was just driving around and I saw this watchtower in the distance. So I was like, shoot, I'm going to find a way to get up there. Anyways, It was built in the 16th century. It was used to warn against pirates that were approaching to come attack the island, I guess. So pretty crazy history right there. So anyways, to climb up the watchtower, there was a ladder. I just climbed up, and then you're going to get inside.
Yeah, that's not a ladder. That's like rebar. That's really not a ladder. Standard safety for a ladder is like you have to have a pitch of a certain amount. It's, I don't know what it is, 3 to 1 or whatever. And he's just going to climb up some rebar. It is what it is.
Side, and then there's some stairs to get up to the top. Anyways, when I got to the top, I was just so freaking stoked because you're gonna get a beautiful 360 panoramic view of the whole entire area. I think it's at 380 meters high, so you're gonna get an amazing vantage point. When I was there,
380 meters high. That is a quarter of a mile. 400 meters times 3 feet, 1,200. I think a quarter mile is like 1,280. Yeah, that's a quarter of a mile up in the air. Wow, that's crazy. A quarter of a mile. That would be 130 stories, approximately. How cool is that? And it was built like 500 years ago. I don't get it. You say there's not aliens. I don't get it. I mean, the thing doesn't even look like it has like bricks or anything. It just looks like a solid concrete base. I don't get it. I know it's not concrete, but I don't get it. I didn't sleep last night, so this might get a little weird. You know, I'm already on my second Coke Zero. None of the sugar, but all of the caffeine. Quarter a mile. And he's up on the edge there, in case you haven't noticed. He's crazy. All right, I know most of you guys hate cruise ships for various reasons. Either they come into your country and you get a whole bunch of obnoxious Americans, or whatever the case may be, you think it's just, you know, fat, dumb, lower class people. I get it. I get it. We love cruise ships. We love going on cruises. I think for me, it is the convenience and the security. I get very anxious when I travel, which is, I know, kind of weird for a guy who's planning on traveling around the world, but I got to get over it for my wife. She wants to see the world, and we're going to see the world. And I do too. But the point is, at the cruise ship, you always have a place to eat. You always have a place to sleep. You're not worried about that aspect. And we go on princess cruises, which is not the cheapest. They're not the most expensive, I don't think. But we've always been happy on princess. It's not like Carnival or some of these other ships that are just party 24/7, get drunk and throw up everywhere. So we've always had good experiences. Is there anybody out there who's European who thinks that you can still do cruise vacations and they're beneficial? The thought is, if you're going to go into Barcelona or something, you could fly to Barcelona a week early, go on a cruise, you know, go around Spain, go to Portugal, all that, and then fly out. Or take a cruise, go around, see what you like, and then stay like a week after, and then fly out. Same thing with Italy, since it's basically an island. You know, the idea of just going by boat seems to make sense if you're not going to a landlocked country. Anyone out there think that that's okay? Because it seems to be cheaper than trying to get a hotel and everything, at least a decent hotel. I don't know. So let me know your thoughts on cruise ships. Nicer cruise ships. I'm not talking about the cheapest cruise ships. I'm not talking about private. I'm not talking about Viking. I can't afford Viking. But let me know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to spend a week at sea and a week on land and be able to see a country like Spain and maybe Portugal? Is that crazy? Do I have to just fly in and go town to town? Let me know.
The sun was about to set. I got some really cool shots of me just walking around this tower. It was one of my most memorable sunsets I ever had. I remember just chilling there and just thinking, how in the heck did I end up here? If you are in Mallorca, you got to check out this watchtower. You're not going to regret it. So for our next location, we're going to just go down to the nearby Mirador es Colobra. So I was on a cruise ship and we docked in Mallorca, and I had like just a few hours before I get back on the ship, and I saw pictures of this Mirador. So I was like, shoot, like I got to go. So I decided to get a rental car for only like 3 hours. I drove out there and I got to this lookout. You're gonna walk out to this observation deck. It's just right on this massive cliff, and you get a really beautiful view of the surrounding area. I got some really cool shots. There was this bay that just had the most epic lighting ever. If you're on that northern side of the island, you gotta check out the Mirador es Colobra. All right, so after the lookout, we're gonna go to one of my all-time favorite places in the world, Cala Varques. Now, if you love cliff jumping, crystal clear water, or you just want to chill on a beach, you got to go check this place out. Like, it is the definition of Mediterranean paradise. Like, I couldn't recommend it more. It is like one of my top 5 favorite locations in this world. I could just spend days here just swimming and cliff jumping. It has it all. To get there, you're gonna walk down this long dirt road. When I was walking down, I found this little turtle just chilling in the brush. Then you're gonna go through this gate and then you'll get down to the beach. Now you're just gonna get blown away by how like clear this water is. The combination of white rock, green vegetation, and that blue water is just absolutely stunning. When I was there, I did one of my craziest cliff jumps ever off this 60-foot arch. I remember just standing there and just debating if I was just gonna jump or if I was gonna do a gainer. I ended up sending it and doing the gainer, and it was one of my all-time favorite travel experiences. I made a lot of friends there. We got like an air mattress and we were just floating around in the ocean on it. Me and my brother, we found these sea caves, and you have to like swim under this rock to get to the other side. So it was a little sketch, but it was just so freaking cool. The water there is just so clear, and I mean, it's just such a beautiful place. Truly can't recommend it more. If you are in Mallorca, you have to go check out Cala Varques. You're not going to be disappointed. All right, so after Cala Varques, we're going to go over to the nearby Drach caves. Now, this is one of the few places I haven't gone to, but I'd like to go when I'm back. So it's located on the east side of the island in the town of Puerto Cristo. Now, there are 4 caves, and they're about 4 kilometers long, and it's about 15 euros to enter, so it's pretty cheap. And what you're going to do is you're going to go down in this cave, and then they have like these little boats, and you'll do a little tour. I think it takes about an hour to do. It's home to Lake Martel, which...
Now, are those stalactites and stalagmites? Is that right? Is that what I remember from earth science in 7th grade? Anybody been there? Looks pretty wild. Pretty cool.
Which is one of the world's largest underground lakes. So after the cave, we're gonna head over to the town of Palma de Mallorca. Now, when you fly into Mallorca, this is where you're gonna fly into. Now, it's a really cool town. There's a lot to do there. You got a lot of galleries, a lot of restaurants, really cool nightlife. It's home to the massive Santa Maria Cathedral. The construction on this cathedral was started in the 13th century, and it has really cool Gothic architecture.
Look at that. That is beautiful. 13th century. So what is that, 1200s? So 1,000 years ago? No, 800 years ago? That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. If you're new to my channel, I'm infatuated with cathedrals and castles and palaces. I have my own playlist for just those palaces, cathedrals, and castles. Symmetry is kind of a big thing for me. I wish these towers were on the front and the back, but what can you do? But it just blows my mind. 800 years ago. 800 years ago. I didn't even think people were like had a formal language 800 years ago. I know, I'm just a dumb American. But I know they didn't have electricity. I know they didn't have power tools. I know they didn't have computers. I mean, I could just picture some guy sitting there with a giant candle next to him, chiseling out stuff with a hammer and a chisel. It's mind-boggling. It blows my mind. It motivates me. I think I'm going to clean my office today. I got a piece of furniture coming. I need to clean some stuff. If they can build a cathedral 800 years ago by hand, I probably should be able to clean my office today. Oh, if I don't fall asleep. Beautiful.
So I definitely recommend at least exploring the city for a few hours or even a full day. So after Palma de Mallorca, we're gonna head over to the famous road to Calobra.
Wow.
Now, coming from the US, I'm used to wide roads and highways, so this road really scared the crap out of me. I mean, roads in Europe tend to be pretty skinny. The road to Calobra took it to a whole nother level. It was full of hairpin turns and loops that wind down the mountain. There's this really cool loop that goes underneath the road that I thought was pretty cool. The mountains there are just spectacular. They descend down into the ocean. I believe a lot of car commercials were filmed there, and I understand why, because it's just so beautiful. When I was there, I made a pit stop and I found this really cool lookout so I could get a good vantage point of all the road. When I was driving down it, I was honestly terrified. I mean, I was just afraid I was going to scratch another car or get in a crash. There was a few spots where there was only enough room to have one car, like this one spot where there's just like a tunnel in the mountain. Luckily, I made it down to the bottom without crashing, and I got to the town of Calobra. Calobra was another place I just stumbled upon by accident. It's this really scenic bay where the mountains reach the ocean, and it's just really beautiful. I walked over to this place.
I mean, do you guys go here? If you live in Spain, I mean, is this a place that you go and visit? Is this, I mean, do the locals take advantage of this beauty and the beaches and the water and everything? Or is this just kind of like, once in a while a tourist comes and finds it, and because none of it seems like crowded or I don't know. It's just, I mean, I think it's just like anything, just like electricity, just like a car, or in your case, a train or whatever. You just take it, you get used to it, and then you just take it for granted. If you live near a castle or a cathedral that's built 800 years ago or 1,000 years ago, don't take it for granted. Okay? Average middle-aged Americans telling you, don't take it for granted. Go visit your local castle. Remember that you have something a lot of people don't have. America has everything. Everything. Our homes are bigger, our cars are bigger, our incomes are generally bigger. We have everything. Now we don't need to get into universal health care arguments and all that. We have everything, basically. And we definitely have opportunity to have everything. But we don't have 1,000-year-old castles, 1,000-year-old churches and cathedrals, 1,000-year-old palaces. We don't have that stuff for any price. I mean, the White House is great. The Capitol's great. Boston's great. Philadelphia is great. It's not 1,000-year-old castles. Or 2,000-year-old castles in some cases. Don't take it for granted. Don't take that water for granted. There are plenty of people in Nebraska, USA, that would give their grandchildren up to go swim in that water. I mean, not literally, but you get my point.
It's called Torrent de Paris, and it's this awesome little beach situated between these two cliffs. I obviously had to find a spot to cliff jump, so I found this little cliff, and I jumped into the water, and I did some snorkeling in the crystal clear ocean there. One thing that I thought was just really cool was all the sailboats. They were just vibing in the bay. One thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have stayed there for sunset. I was in such a rush to find another spot for sunset, and I ended up actually missing the sunset. So I hear it has one of the best sunsets on the island there. So definitely go spend a sunset down in Calobra. You won't regret it. All right, so after we're gonna head over to Mirador Pontas. Now, Pontas is this sea arch in the ocean, and it's freaking huge. And this is what originally brought me to Mallorca. I remember I saw this video of the sea arch, and I was living in Switzerland at the time, so I decided, all right, I'm just gonna go buy a plane ticket over Mallorca. It was like 90 bucks. I was like, what the heck? I drove to the sea arch. There's a really cool lookout point. You can just walk around for the area. I mean, it's just a really beautiful place to check out, and it's just another reason to visit the island of Mallorca. Just such a beautiful place. All right, so that is it from my
I'm honestly surprised that he didn't swim over there and climb up that rock and sit on that arch. I really am surprised. I bet you he tried. What a beautiful place. Mallorca. Mallorca. So it's not Mallorca? Is it Mallorca? Isn't LL like a Y? Like an English Y? Yeah. Mallorca. Yeah, I took Spanish. I did. Took 3 semesters of it. 4 semesters. Well, so that was like, I don't know, thousands of dollars. And I remember like 1% of it. But I'm going to brush up before I get over there. Beautiful place.
Mallorca video. I mean, there's just so many beautiful places to explore, so many little calas and bays to just really relax in the ocean water, do some cliff jumping, and just enjoy that Mediterranean Ocean. I can't recommend Mallorca enough. Comes from the States, there's nowhere like this place. So, I mean, it's not too expensive to fly there. So if you are living in Europe or you're doing a vacation in Europe, definitely add Mallorca to your itinerary.
Well, there you go, guys. What a beautiful place. It doesn't look like a tourist trap. Let me know your thoughts on it. Obviously, you guys know more about it than I do. But it seems like a casual, cool place that you can just kind of check out, grab some lunch, maybe do some swimming. Beautiful. Don't take it for granted. Telling you. All my new Spaniard friends, don't take it for granted. Because you never know when 3 big cruise ships are going to pull right up in there. Take over your town. I know. All right, that's all I got for you today. And I appreciate all of you sincerely. And I will see you on the next one. Take care. Thanks for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Can you believe that we now have over 1,000 subscribers and over 100 videos in our YouTube library? Me neither. It's been less than a year and this channel has grown so rapidly. What's more important than the number of subscribers is the quality of subscribers. Our subscribers are knowledgeable and generous with their time. They teach us about their country and their culture from their firsthand experiences. See, over 95% of my subscribers live outside of the United States. So we're getting information firsthand. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that button. I think you'll enjoy it and it doesn't cost you anything. If you'd like to see other videos similar to this one on the same country, click here. If you'd like to see some videos on some other countries in Europe, click there. Want to see some of the most beautiful castles and cathedrals in the world? They're over here. Want to check out the United States? We're down here. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.